We had that interim study 3-4 years ago now, so we've had the time for conversation, and now I think it is time for action, which I do hope to see this session.
And the legislative session is back underway. The usual topics: taxes, budgets, education, public safety. But there's a newer topic that's going to get a lot more attention this time around. We're talking about artificial intelligence. I interviewed a state representative that's hoping to lead the way on the laws that surround AI.
We're living through history right now,
Yeah.
certainly that element. And I think you can go back to the Industrial Revolution, you can go to the advent of the internet.
Artificial intelligence ushered the world into a new era. It's like when cars were first invented, or, as State Representative Daniel Pay points out, the internet. We're just at the very beginning. In the years ahead, we will see thousands of new laws introduced.
The possibilities are limitless. And now as policymakers, we have to decide, where do we draw that line, and how do we make sure there are good guardrails in place for everyone involved?
Representative Pay hosted Oklahoma's first interim study on AI 3 years ago, and he introduced new legislation last session. But his progress might have to wait because of a new federal roadblock. President Trump issued an executive order putting a freeze on state legislation surrounding AI. The president says he doesn't want regulation to slow down innovation. In the order, it says, "We remain in the earliest days of this technological revolution and are in a race with adversaries for supremacy within it. To win," the president says, United States AI companies must be free to innovate without cumbersome regulation.
That is something that I profoundly disagree with. I think states are the laboratories of democracy, and we should be looking into ways to legislate on this policy matter. I think more than likely the courts will rule against the administration, because this really ought to be a state's issue.
And so far, Oklahoma only has a few pieces of legislation on AI. Laws that prohibit non-consensual sharing of AI-generated sexual images, extending laws on child sex abuse material to include AI-generated images, and increasing transparency on AI-driven platforms, including the requirement for state government to get third-party reviews if a state agency wants to use artificial intelligence.
It is becoming more and more difficult to decipher what is real and what is AI generated. So I still have a bill from last year on criminal justice, and how if you have any evidence that's submitted to court that was AI generated or manipulated, that be disclosed to everyone involved.
And the controversy will only build over data centers, massive new energy-intensive sites full of computers, servers, and hard drives that fuel artificial intelligence. For AI companies, Oklahoma is a target, including in Representative Pay's district in Lawton.
It does come with costs, it does come with trade-offs, and that's where we come in as lawmakers to make sure what can we do to protect our constituencies from any abuse or mismanagement.
Representative Brad Bowles filed House Bill 2992, the Data Center Consumer Ratepayer Protection Act of 2026. It's aiming to protect people from potential increases in their utility bills because of a data center.
And we got to remember the bigger picture, that when it comes to AI infrastructure, there is going to have to be investment that's required. And the United States is not the only country. There are other countries around the world who are having a similar discussion. And I don't want us to fall behind, and don't want to wait until it's too late to catch up with them.
The session started just this week. We'll get to see what framework Oklahoma lawmakers present as we enter the new technological revolution. Cameron Seibert, KOCO 5 News.
Yeah, so President Trump signed that executive order to block states from legislation on AI. That was in December. States can still work on legislation, but Trump has a task force that would potentially block any state laws or any state bills from actually becoming a law.